Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nurmal here, and in this video we're going to do a detailed camera review of the Redmi 10 Prime. So Redmi 10 Prime comes with a 50 megapixel quad camera setup. Along with that you also get an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens and an 8 megapixel selfie camera. So let's find out how the camera performs in this price segment. So before getting started, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin with having a look at the camera hardware offered on the Redmi 10 Prime. In terms of camera hardware, the phone comes with a 50 megapixel sensor with f1.8 aperture. The details of the sensor are not known as it is sourced from multiple vendors. There is an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, a third 2 megapixel macro sensor and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. The front camera is an 8 megapixel shooter with f2.45 aperture. So let's find out how the camera performs. In terms of daylight condition, the 50 megapixel sensor does a good job in bringing details and decent sharpness levels too. The colors are good and they look natural with no color saturation issues. But at the same time, the colors are also tend to be a bit underwhelming at times and also not as much bright as we would have expected. The sharpness levels are quite okay and this is evident when you pixel peep. The dynamic range is once again decent looking considering that it has a 50 megapixel shooter. We also tried the 50 megapixel mode but we couldn't see any benefits from it. In terms of daylight, most users won't be disappointed with the performance as it is still one of the good cameras in this price segment. The 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera does an impressive job and it is quite surprising. In fact, it produces lively images with good brightness levels, colors and details are also quite okay. This is probably one of the best ultra wide angle cameras in this price segment. Moving on to the close-up shots, the phone comes with pretty decent imaging capabilities and the colors are also natural here too and looks vibrant too. The sharpness levels are quite okay, although not as good as the Redmi Note 10 Pro. The phone has a 2 megapixel macro sensor which does a decent job in bringing details, but lack of autofocus makes it a bit tricky. But still it is one of the good macro cameras in this price segment. Moving on to the portraits, the Redmi 10 Prime gets you good portrait shots and one of the good things about Redmi devices is that they don't add unnecessary beauty mode and hence the skin tones are natural and brings in good details too. The edge detection is also quite good and overall portraits have come good. Next up, the low light captures, and considering the price segment, the Redmi 10 Prime does a decent job in low light conditions. In indoor lighting there is noise but the details are also quite decent. When light drops further, you can see noise kicking in and even night mode there is considerable amount of noise in the photos. But good thing is that there is decent sharpness levels and details are also quite okay. Finally, the selfie camera. The 8 megapixel shooter does a good job with selfies. The skin tones are natural and you can also turn off the beauty mode. The sharpness levels and the dynamic range is also quite good. Since selfies are more of a personal choice, you can judge based on the images shown. The phone also has portrait mode for selfies and here it does a decent job with edge detection if not the best. Moving on to the video recording. The phone can record videos in 1080p at 30 fps and there is no stabilization included. Even though the colors look good in the video, the overall quality is underwhelming and lack of EIS means it is not recommended for moving videos. The bitrate of the video is also not really impressive. The phone also comes with 1080p video recording for ultra wide angle lens and once again it is not great as there is no stabilization offered and the quality is strictly average. The phone also has macro video recording in 720p while the quality isn't as good as the Redmi Note 10 Pro. For obvious reasons, it is quite acceptable in terms of overall quality for the price segment. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the Redmi 10 Prime, so you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the front camera on the Redmi 10 Prime. So that is a detailed camera review of the Redmi 10 Prime. So summing up, the camera on the Redmi 10 Prime is quite a decent one and won't disappoint most users even though there is still room for improvement. The video quality is strictly average and we wouldn't recommend this for anyone looking for videos. Having said that, the phone has its positives in the camera department, including good ultra-wide portraits and decent low-light photography as well. So what do you guys think about the camera on the Redmi 10 Prime? Do share in your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off with a camera review of the Redmi 10 Prime. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.